So the Blazer's not yet out of the garage. I bought shocks for it to install the rear. I've not installed the front. Shouldn't be a bad job. I've sprayed them down with some PV Blaster just to make sure those rusty nuts and bolts will come off. Hopefully that's the case. And I bought KYBs, and this was before I thought I was going to sell the Blazer. I thought I was going to keep it. So I bought like these awesome KYB shocks. These are drop shocks. What that means is they're like an inch shorter and they cost twice as much, which is not all that great. But it is what it is. And again, like this, a couple bolts at the top. Actually, 2 nuts at the top and then 2 bolts at the bottom. That's all there is. We're gonna see if we can get these things off and get these in. You see this rubber bushing around this flange, around this mounting point. My stock shocks right now, well, they aren't stock, they're actually like Beltex from back in the day. There's no rubber bushing. Like this mounting point is just floating in a metal cylinder. There's no bushing whatsoever left. That's why I'm replacing the shocks, because that's not going to give you a great ride quality, if you didn't know. This should not be a bad job. We'll find out. So if you jack the front end of the vehicle, it does make getting to the shock mounts easier, like the top shock mounts, because when the suspension is compressed, that control arm is blocking that nut just a bit. If you notice, there's only 1 nut on top of there. There should be 2. I'm guessing whoever did it before me installed it incorrectly. I mean, I've seen a few things that would lead me to believe that. You can see there's the shock mount there. You can see like that rubber, it's just pieces of rubber around it. That bushing, gone, does not exist. Also, jacking it up makes it a little easier to access it from the wheel well. You can see the top of the nut right in there. And jacking it up also makes it easier to get it from the bottom. So you definitely jack it up. I don't know why you try to do this without jacking it up, but you know, I'm just throwing out these helpful hints for you. There it is, 1 shock out. You can see not much bushing left there, not much at all. That is the top bushing. That one's in a little bit of rough shape too. But we've got new shocks, and that'll be nice. It'll look a lot better. Probably the cleanest looking thing on this vehicle. Coming from you live underneath the vehicle. So this has been the easiest way I found to compress these shocks. I mean, usually shocks I compress by hand. I guess since these are drop shocks, the spring rate is really high, or whatever. They're very stiff. They're very difficult to compress. And I cannot compress them one-handed and get the bolt in there. So I'm just using a scissor jack, block of wood, because I don't want to scratch up the bottom of my shock, even though the road will do that soon enough. Gives you a great amount of adjustability to slowly raise it up, and then I've just got it on a block of wood, so I can slide that block of wood to center it up perfectly. And as you can see, it has worked. I've got bolts in there. We're just about done with this job. I dropped this thing off the jack stands. I gotta say, I love the stance of this thing. You know, I was saying I wanted to get rid of it, but looking at it here, looking at the stance it's got me rethinking it. And I thought I was close to pulling it out of the garage and starting the next project, and I forgot there's no interior in here at all. And I need to look up carpet prices to see if it was worth it to replace the carpet, because I've never liked the blue interior. I'd replace the door panels with some gray. Unfortunately, I got power windows, so I needed to replace these, because behind here are all like my power locks and stuff. And I need, you know, this one does have a manual window because I had to replace this door a few years ago because it was rusted. I need to drill out and put all the power window stuff in here. Just had never done it. I've got all the parts, just haven't drilled out the rivets to put it in. That one, the power window's in there, but it won't work because this one's not hooked up. You gotta have both of them hooked up to work. So I need to look at the carpet, see if I can clean that up. The seats, I did get some gray seats. I've tried, these were like a little rough looking, just sitting in the car for a while. Before I ever started this project, I pulled them out, I started cleaning them up. Of course, like some of that stuff, I may work on that again. Like that stain, I just could not get out, even though I did work on it. I've got the rear seat here. It is blue because I could not find, just didn't have a gray one, not have a 2-door. I'm gonna see though if I may clean up some of these stains. Just I want to clean this thing up, get it looking as nice as possible. I still need to power wash the entire. I mean, look at that. I need to power wash the entire thing. That may take all the paint off. You can see it's coming off in a few places, but it's got to be better than this. And one of the things I got to decide is, am I going to paint it? Kind of thinking at the beginning of this project I would, just because I would like to paint a car, never have. Want to get some practice because I want to paint my daily driver, and this would be a good thing to practice on. You know, if I mess up here, not quite as high stakes because I don't plan on keeping it. Well, I didn't, but then man, I mean, just look at this stance. I love it. I don't know. Decisions. I've cleaned these seats before. I mean, they look way better than they did. This is the driver's seat, and you still see it's that little bit of stain right there. I'm going to try to get that out, spray it, and do some different things. I've got some stuff on. This is the back of the seat. The rear seat, the actual upholstery part you sit on looks great. There's just a few stains. I don't even know what this stuff is from anymore. See if I can pull that out. There is the Bissell, the mighty Bissell. It's going to pull these stains out. I've used it before. It works really well. It does not pull out everything. I used it on these seats. You can see it didn't pull that out, but it is way better than it was before. So I'm going to spray it with some other soaps and different things and see if I can get it out. And yeah, I still don't know what I'm going to do with this blazer. Am I going to keep it? I mean, seen it off the jack stands, the stance, it looks great. I mean, I love this thing. I picked this thing out. Like, this is exactly what I wanted because I love 2 doors. I like it as an SUV. I mean, this thing, I can haul full sheet of plywood if I need to. Can haul 4 people, 5 if you want to squeeze them. Love this thing, but it's a little dated. You know, it's got that 80s GM decor, and I'm not really about that anymore. But you know, do I just take this thing all the way? I don't know. So let's up a little before and after contrast. This is the before. We're gonna see if we can get some of this stuff out. You can see it looks a little discolored, a little darker. That's just because I've sprayed it just to, you know, give it a double boost. So I'm hoping some of this will come out. I'm quite sure at least to be better. Where they'll get it all out, that's yet to be determined. There were a few spots on this side, just small stuff, not quite as bad as the other side. I mean, the carpet inside, the carpet in the back is really nice. There's a plastic cover that was down there, so that looks great. The front, not quite as good. Not terrible, I mean, for what it is. I hate the blue, though. Absolutely hated the blue. I've always hated the blue. I think it did a pretty good job. This spot, instead of a dark brown, is now a lighter brown. Still got a little spot, but a lot of my other little spots, they came out. It looks a lot better. You know, for what it is, I'm not disappointed. Now I need to work on the front seat. I do need to look at my seatbelts just to make sure they don't look too bad. This thing has always worked really well on seatbelts. Yeah, I don't know why that spot didn't come out. I don't know what that was, but it's lighter, it's brighter, so I don't know. But everything else, but overall, that back of that seat does look better. Not quite as noticeable. Some of the stains are gone. I'll take it. My driver's side seat, that little corner, looking a lot better. Look at that. I mean, you really can't tell. I think what you see there is just that it's a little damp. And that's just where, I think that's just where the tufting is. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Is that a spot? It certainly seems like that is a spot. Well, it's just where the material was brushed, but I don't know. Maybe it is a little spot. So this is the dirty water. You can see that is very brown. That is very dirty, but this is years of dirt. I mean, this is a 1991 Blazer. So we're looking at 30 some odd years of dirt potentially. I mean, I don't think this thing's ever been, you know, shampoo vacuumed before. I mean, you can just look at it sitting outside. It looks pretty gross. So it goes to show you the inside will probably be a little dirty.